Hey friends, hey neighbors, it's Paul Scheer with the Scherrer Bros team at United Real Estate, and this is your 2-ish minute monthly market update for March 2022. Let's check it out. You know what, on second thought, let me just sum up those numbers, very similar to the numbers that we've been showing you and telling you for the last 6 months. The inventory is down, the number of sales is down, the listing price to sales price ratio is down, the average sale price is up. So that's a seller's market. Let me tell you a story instead. So I have this listing, and before we put it on the market, it was a flip. So we were getting it ready for market, and I get a call from the neighbor who lives next door, and he says, hey, I'm selling my house, and I have a colleague who's got a license who has a buyer for my house, and they're going to pay me what I think is a really fair number for my house, and I'm only going to have to pay half the commission. And I'm like, okay, that sounds good. Tell me what you think the price is. And so he tells me not what he thought, but what they were going to agree upon. They hadn't put anything in writing yet, but they were just kind of talking it out. And he asked me what I thought about that. So let me just give you some numbers. Let's say the house was $225,000. So I said, that sounds like a pretty fair price for the house. That's kind of what the comps show, but in this market, you never know. So why don't you let me come by and take a look at the house? So I went by the house, take a look at it. It's a really nice house. And I'm like, dude, this house is, I can't, 225 is not a bad price for the house. And if you don't have to pay commission, then you're going to save that. Well, that's awesome. I said, but I have a hunch that if you put it on the market, you're actually going to make more. Okay, you're going to actually net more. You're going to put more money in your pocket at the end of the day, even if you have to pay a full commission. So he's like, okay, yeah, that's interesting. Let me think about that. So meanwhile, I put the house right next door, the flip, on the market, and we get a lot of showings. There's lots of realtors in and out. Well, this genius, and I mean that sincerely, he was walking out and flagging down those agents and saying, hey, agent and client, I'm putting my house on the market. You want to come take a look at it? So this guy's like using my listing and my marketing and all of my showings to try and sell his house. So lo and behold, he gets another offer from one of the agents that he brought through the house. Good for him. And so when I go to talk with him next, he says, look, I think I've got a better deal. I'm going to get $240 for the house. I'm only going to have to pay half the commission, half the commission at 3% or whatever. And thank you so much for talking to me. This is great. I'm going to make more money on the sale of my house. And I was like, well, okay, maybe. I mean, maybe that'll be your best deal. But you really don't know until you actually put it on the market. After you properly market the home and expose it on the market. And by market, I mean the MLS. I don't mean like for sale by owner. I don't mean like Zillow for sale by owner. I mean realtor MLS. I said, until you do that, you don't know. So maybe that's a good deal, maybe it's not. And so by telling him that, it made him think, okay, maybe I should put it on the market. So he took the listing, I took the listing, we did our Scherrer Bros magic. We had our stager go in, we helped him get his house ready for sale, which means we really kind of do the things that aren't expensive, that don't cost a lot of money, but really help press buyers' buttons, make them excited about buying the house. So we did those things. We put it into our launch sequence. We got it on the market, and we got a bunch of offers, and we got $280,000 for the house, okay? That's the kind of market that we're in. Most of my clients want the most amount of money in their pocket at the end of the day. So they don't really care if they pay commission as long as they make more money at the end of the day. And this is a perfect example of how for sale by owner in this market, it sounds great, right? All I have to do is put a sign in the market. Maybe I'll pop it on Zillow and I'll definitely sell it. And you know what? You definitely will sell it. Will you make the most money? Probably not. You need to properly expose it, and that is not properly exposing it. And that's the story I wanted to tell. If I have a buyer client and we're struggling to find a house, and I start digging on Zillow and I find somebody's trying to sell the house for sale by owner, I'm like, oh yeah, this is good. I'm gonna get my buyer in that house because I'm gonna get my buyer that house, and they're going to pay less for it than if they'd actually put it on the real market. So that seller who's gonna have to do all the work on the seller side because they don't have an agent is actually gonna make less money at the end of the day. So just keep that in mind, folks, as you're thinking about buying and selling. And if you have any questions about any of this, please give me a call. 317-255-7285, Paul at unitedrealestate.net. And that's it for now. We'll talk to you next month.